Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Governor Livingston High School here at Fry Field. My name is Nathan Philbrook. Thank you for joining me today on Governor Livingston High School television for this boys varsity lacrosse matchup. Between your Governor Livingston Highlanders and the Delaware Valley Terriers. We just got started a couple seconds ago here. The draw happened to go Delaware Valley's way. Delaware Valley in their white tops and yellow shorts going from left to right. Governor Livingston in their full red kits going from right to left. Delaware Valley currently on the attack. The ball currently held by number 12, Braden Picardo Liask. He's driving down. He'll go in front of goal. He'll fake a shot and it'll be knocked away by Owen McGuire. He'll eventually kick the ball away from the goal. Interesting move there from McGuire, and it'll go out of bounds off of McGuire, of course, for another Delaware Valley possession. We're down to 11:15 here in the first. This one will be taken out by Jack Reinierson. He'll get it to number 31 in front of goal, Cole Fritsch. And he'll net the first goal of the game to make it 1-0 Delaware Valley. Delaware Valley on a pretty nice roll this season. They are currently 8-6. And inside of the NJILL Pooley division, they sit third behind Kittatinny and Newton. Governor Livingston, on the other hand, sitting, unfortunately, dead last in the NJILL Kimber division at 1-10. GL not had the best season so far. They had a decent preseason. They won 2 of 3, one of which I commentated. You can go and check that out on Governor Livingston High School television on the YouTube channel after the game. As this draw goes the way of Governor Livingston, this one will be scooped up by number 11, Owen McGuire. Although he'll lose it for a second, along with a Delaware Valley midfielder losing his stick. The ball will still be contested as it'll go into Delaware Valley's zone, and it'll eventually be picked up by number 25, Ryan Cottam. Cottam will offload this to someone whose number I can't see, and he'll get it down to Sicoli in front of goal. Sicoli will lose it, and it'll be controlled by Delaware Valley. Down to 10:30 now. This one will be taken and across midfield by number 35. He's on the back of my roster, and I have to flip off as number 35 will come off. It'll be with number 4, and he'll go to number 8, Justin Comer. Comer will drop it back to Braden Picardo Liask, who first goal scorer of this game. Liask will get up to the 30, near side hashes. Correction, I thought Liask had it, but it was number 4, Will Fritsch. Sorry, Will Fritsch as well in the first goal scoring. That is my mistake on the numbers and not actually who had it. So it was Will Fritsch the whole time. He nets his second goal of the game already, I believe. One of the Fritsch brothers has 2 goals, or maybe they both have a goal each. I'm not exactly sure, and I have the memory of a goldfish, so I've forgotten. Either way, already just over 2 minutes into this game, it is already 2-0 Delaware Valley. Governor Livingston, across most of the games, they've had pretty strong starts. They seem to, in the majority of cases, fall off towards the end. They just can't keep up the energy after halftime. Probably something to do with momentum. As GL will drive here quickly. That'll be number 16 for Governor Livingston. Caleb Leong nets GL's first goal of the game. He'll cut the lead back down to 1, and he'll get GL on the board for the first time with 9:53 left. Just over 10 seconds, exactly 12 seconds since the last goal from the Terriers. And now I've got to get a pencil to write all this down. I hope this one has lead. Nope. I'll try and commentate while writing it down. So, draw here between Braden Tripp and Braden Suzanski, the Fogo for Delaware Valley. And we'll get a false start on... Sorry, I said Braden Tripp. It's Sear Ryan III. Everyone calls him Tripp. I will call him... I did call him Tripp. I guess I'll call him Ryan now because I decided that was more professional. Either way, it'll be Delaware Valley's ball after the false start from Ryan, the Fogo. It'll be with number 8, Justin Comer. Comer will get a pass off here. It'll end down with number 21, Jack Reinierson. It'll eventually be picked up by Cole Fritsch, and Michael Nelson will come out of his goal to try and get the out-of-bounds possession for Governor Livingston, but he'll be beaten out by number 16, I believe that is, Braden Costello. So we'll get a restart here with Reinierson. He seems to be Delaware Valley's kind of X-Man, as far as I can tell. So we pass under 9:20 left here in the first. 2-1 game. Favor Delaware Valley. Reinierson will get it to Freach, Cole Freach. This is the younger brother. The younger Freach brother. Freach will get it back to Reinierson. Reinierson will come all the way out, and he'll get it to number 12, Braden Picardo-Liask, who will try and go drive for goal. He'll jump it off. Or he'll lose possession of the ball, correction. And there'll be a huge fight over it right in front of the crease. Mike and Nelson in a bit of chaos here, going back and forth, back and forth. It'll eventually be controlled by Governor Livingston. And Matt Miller will carry it across the 50. Matt Miller, far side, hashes. He gets up to the 30. He goes for a pass to Scott McCrae. McCrae will get it to Scully, who will net Governor Livingston's second goal of the game. And we're back tied up, 2-2. 8:39 left. Let me actually take my notes because I haven't been doing that. It was a Freach goal. Make it 1-0. Another Freach goal to make it 2-0. And then we've had 2 Sicoli goals, I believe.
No, first one was Caleb Leong.
Yes, sorry. Leong to make it 2-1. And then Sicoli to make it 2-2. As we will get another false start on the draw, I believe, here. This one against Ryan, as the last one was. And we'll start off with Braden Sazanski. Sazanski driving. He gets down to the 25. He'll eventually pull out, stop driving. He'll underhand toss this ball back to Braden Costello around the 40. Costello will go to Colmer, also around the 40. Far side hashes. Sliding uphill, he'll get up to near the 35 before getting a long pass backward to Kyle Shamming around the 40-yard line close side. Shamming will go up to the 20 to number 4, Will Freach, the older Freach brother. Freach will get it to his brother in front, Cole, and Cole will get a nice shot there, but it'll be blocked low and away by Michael Nelson. Nice save there by Nelson. Delaware Valley will maintain possession. It'll be Cole Freach getting his own rebound on the shot. Freach driving here quickly. He'll only get up to the 25 before he'll stop driving. Put a nice spin move on there, but nowhere to go. He'll drop this back to Kyle Shamming. Shamming will get this back to number 4, the older Freach. Will Freach. I got to find a way to differentiate. Will Freach will get it to Reinierson. Reinierson will try and go back to Will Freach in front, as there's a huge check by Cole Freach right in front of the goal. That was on, I think, number 26 for Governor Livingston, Liam Gowan. He's also a hockey player for the GL New Prof hockey team, JV, I believe. And to pass there out by Michael Nelson to try and get it out of his zone is unsuccessful, and it'll go out of bounds for a Delaware Valley possession. So 7:20 left here. Governor Livingston seeming to have a bit of an epiphany in this first half, not quite playing up to their normal first half standards, although maybe this means that they'll play like they do in the first half and the second, which might give them a chance to stay in this game. Either way, it'll be with number 4, Will Freach, the older Freach brother. I still need to find a way to differentiate them. I'm just going to call him Will and Cole, honestly. Either way, it'll end up with Shamming around the close side hash line near 30 yards out. Shamming will drive up to the 20. Drive it to the numbers 10. He'll go around behind goal. He's at X. Shamming will go all the way around. He'll get this one out to Costello. Costello driving, trying to go for a shot there. That one deflected away by Nelson. Right down into his own crease, and he'll scoop it up. So another save here by Nelson. Nelson will get this pass out to Max Riviker. Riviker will eventually give it to, I believe that's Matt Miller, number 33. It'll end up with Andrew Nappy. Nappy, a recent Moravian commit for lacrosse. Nappy gets it down to the corner to number 25. That was Ryan Cottom. Cottom gives it back to Nappy, and he'll get it to Alec Novotny. Novotny's first call in this game, or at least the first time I've called his name in this game, and Novotny will immediately get one off to Sicoli. Sorry, McCrae, not Sicoli. It'll end up with Ryan Cottom again. Back with Novotny. Novotny will go to number 50. So that was Benza. Yep. And a shot by McCrae will be easily taken by number 17, the keeper, Luke Seifert. Seifert will get this one out of his own goal, and that pass almost uncontrolled by the Delaware Valley defender and then deflected, but unfortunately it'll be scooped up by Terry Nee for the Terriers, and he'll carry it across midfield all the way up to the close side 20. He'll get it to Jack Reinierson. Sorry, it'll eventually end up with Braden Costello, I believe. Costello will go back to Justin Colmer, who's hovering around the 40-yard line right now. No GL defenders pressing him. Might want to get a start on that as he drives down to the 20-yard line. Shot there. That one deflected high and away by Michael Nelson. It'll be with Reinierson. Reinierson, another shot here deflected away by Nelson. Beautiful play by Nelson in goal right now. He is having an absolute, I would say absolute game, except we're not even 10 minutes into this game, so absolute first period, I should say. I think he's got 6 saves and 2 goals allowed, which is absolutely outstanding, although Michael Nelson is having a pretty good season. I believe he's got a save percentage of 62.7%. That is a unusually high percentage for a high school goalie, though you have to consider that he's not exactly playing some of the best competitions sometimes, although his defense certainly isn't helping him. I believe they are currently allowing 23 shots per game on him, which is quite a few. Either way, Governor Livingston will get the possession, and that bouncing pass will be uncontrolled as of yet, and it'll eventually go out of bounds? Correct, it'll go out of bounds, and it'll be Delaware Valley's ball. Network issues here, apparently. Either way, it'll be with Costello. Costello will get this one down to number 21, Jack Reinierson, near sideline. He'll get it back to Costello, who's hovering around the 40, near the close hashes. Shuffling into the middle of the field. Reinierson will go for a drive now. He'll get down to the 20. He'll go to X to Will Freach. Freach will drive around goal. He'll go for a shot there, and Nelson will deflect it up and away and grab that one. Nelson, I believe that's his 7th save of the game, so Nelson now coming out of his own goal, trying to direct traffic. He'll stay out of his goal as the GL coaches will yell to Nelson to go back to his goal. That pass from GL will be picked off by number 33 for the Terriers, Jack Oldenburg. He'll get this up to number 22, Kyle Shamming. Shamming will get to the 30. He'll keep driving. He'll get to the 20, to the 15, now to the 10. He'll eventually jump it off to Will Freach. Freach will go to his brother Cole. At X, Cole driving around goal, trying to get a shot here. He'll go for a pass in front to number 22, Shamming, and Shamming will not be able to control this one. Nelson will come out of his goal to try and contest for the ball, and he'll deliver a solid hit on Shamming, which will draw a flag from the ref. Ref calling for push, I believe. This should indicate a man-up possession, but I'm not sure if anyone's actually come out of the game for Governor Livingston. Well, obviously someone's come out of the game. It will be a man-up possession. I'm not sure who's currently sitting for GL, but they've only got 5 defenders on the field. Interesting situation here. Referee saying that Nelson pushed the player way out of bounds on the back. And they're having Will Sicoli sit for him, evidently. So Sicoli taking a knee there by the 50s, number 35. It'll stay Delaware Valley possession. They'll have a man-up situation. There was a bit of confusion there as to who they were pulling off, but they'll take off Sicoli. I suppose they're going to focus all defense, although it doesn't really matter who's on offense because they can't come back to play defense. So taking out one of your leading goal scorers seems kind of silly, but they've got to take out someone who was in the game, and that shot rifled wide will stay Delaware Valley despite Michael Nelson's attempt to dive for the out-of-bounds possession. So we'll restart here with number 1, Adam Weissel for Delaware Valley. It'll eventually end up with Will Freach. He'll have a shot there. That one deflected away by Nelson again. It'll end up with Cole Freach, and then it'll go back to Colmer. Cole Freach will get it back again. He'll go for a pass. Sorry, not to Shamming. To Reinierson. Reinierson will get it back to the older Freach, Will. Will go in front of goal to number 16, Braden Costello, who will finally break the tie with 2:10 left here in the first. It's 3-2, Delaware Valley. I'm having network issues. And Wirecast just froze. Are you serious? Okay. I believe the recording kept going. If it didn't, it says it's still going, so I'm gonna take that as still going. Either way, face off here between Sazanski and Ryan. Terriers controlled it there for a second, but won't keep possession. Still a battle for the ball. This is all the way back in GL's zone, back down near the 20, and there's a hard check on Max DiDonato that will get no call. Terriers will try and get their offense on real quickly here as Cole Freach has the ball around the 30-yard line. Freach will go back to Ryan Nearson, who's shuffled all the way back to near the 40. Ryan Nearson now getting to the 30 on the numbers near side. He's up to the 20 on the numbers near side still. Ryan Nearson, he'll drive into the middle. He'll look for a pass. He'll get one to number 8, Justin Colmer. Colmer will pull out past behind the 30-yard line. The ball will eventually end up with the goal scorer from a couple seconds ago, Braden Costello. Costello will have to get it back to Colmer, who's still behind the 30-yard line. He'll eventually shuffle up to the 25. Sorry, it is not with Costello anymore. It's now with Ryan Nearson. Ryan Nearson inside the 25, but he'll have nowhere to go, so it'll end up with Costello anyways now. Actually, with Costello outside the 30, far side. He's closer to the numbers. He'll shuffle up to the 25. He'll be pressed. He'll try and make a move here, but no good. He'll eventually have to dump it off to Braden Picardo-Liask. Picardo-Liask will have to dump this off to number 4, Will Freach, older Freach brother. He'll go for a pass over. That one shot there by number 8, Justin Colmer, and that one will be deflected away by Michael Nelson and eventually picked up by one of his defenders. Referee seeming to take an issue with the fact that Michael Nelson wanted to point out that there was an attacking player in his crease. As a goalie, not a lacrosse goalie, but as a soccer goalie, I feel like it's very valid for Nelson to point out a foul, as there's another foul against Governor Livingston. That looked like a check in the back. Some yells from the Governor Livingston coaching staff, but he'll claim that the check in the back sent him out of bounds, and that it apparently wasn't a check in the back. But either way, Delaware Valley, with less than 15 seconds left, will lose the ball in the attacking possession. It'll go back to Michael Nelson. And there's a check after the ball was thrown away. And the ref will say that Matt Miller was out of bounds. And it'll be a Delaware Valley possession with 10 seconds left. So, Delaware Valley trying to go for a shot here. Bouncer. It'll be controlled by Michael Nelson. And he'll likely just run out the last second. And he'll toss that one away. Trying to get it to Navani, but no time left. So, at the end of the first quarter, it is 3-2 Delaware Valley. I'm Nathan Philbrick. Thank you for joining us here on Governor Livingston High School Television. We'll be back in just a minute once these two teams switch sides. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Governor Livingston High School, specifically Fry Field, as we watch this GL boys varsity lacrosse match versus the Delaware Valley Terriers, of course. It is currently 3-2 going into the second period here. Terriers now going from right to left in those white tops and yellow bottoms. Governor Livingston and they're all red now going from left to right. Terriers currently have the ball in the offensive half. It's currently with Rainierson behind goal. He'll go out to Cole Freach, younger Freach brother. Cole will go to number 8, who will go to number 16, Braden Costello, hovering on the 40-yard line. Costello will go for a drive here now. He'll go past the 25, past the 20. He'll go for a shot here. That one wide left, and it'll stay Delaware Valley. Having some network issues here. I haven't gotten a network issue thing, actually, after I've switched it now. We'll see if I get one. I'm not sure what the issue was. Telling me I have too much data, then too little data, then, I gotta go to Timbuktu to fix my issues. But that shot will be rifled and off the post and will stay Delaware Valley. That one taken by Braden Costello. It'll restart with Governor Livingston. There's a hard check by Max DiDonato. Hard legal check, to be fair, although Rainierson will stay on the ground for a few seconds. Probably got the wind knocked out of him. I, too, would have the wind knocked out of me if Max DiDonato decided to put a check on me, but a check. Oh, and that one's going to cause some issues. A check against... I've got another guy who I don't have a name for. Number 20. There's no number 20 on the roster. Or at least the roster that I'm looking at. There's a number 21 and a number 19, so I got to figure out who that is. Either way, it'll be with number 22, Kyle Schemming, right now on the 40-yard line. Schemming will now go for a drive along that far side. Schemming will eventually get it back to the man one number down from him, Rainierson. Rainierson will go close side to number 8, Justin Comer. Comer will go for a drive and a spin move there, but he'll lose the ball. Luckily, he'll scoop it back up before anyone notices. Still going for a drive here, and that bouncer wide right. It'll stay Delaware Valley still. Just over 10 minutes left here in the second. We'll restart with Will Freach, the older Freach brother. I'm going to say that a lot of times. Freach hovering around the crease. Good defense here by Matt Miller, although not good enough as he still gets a shot off, but luckily it was a hard shot over the head, so Michael Nelson was able to deflect that one up and away. It'll stay Delaware Valley, though, and it'll eventually end up with Rainierson. Rainierson looking for a pass in front of goal. He won't find one. He'll go back to Schemming around the 30. Schemming will get this out to number 8, Justin Comer, who will take Schemming's spot even farther back near the 35. Comer will now try for a drive. He looks like he's looking for a shot, but he'll eventually go for a pass to Schemming, who will drop back even further to the close side hashes near the 35-yard line. He's getting back towards the 40. He's pressed by, I believe that's Owen McGuire. Speaking of Owen McGuire, I commentated a game last Saturday, which included his sister, Claire McGuire. So Claire McGuire also representing the McGuire family on varsity lacrosse, as there's a nice drive in front of the goal from Will Freach and a shot over the head of Michael Nelson. It's 4-2, Delaware Valley. And Wirecast froze again. Whoa. That was a really loud ding. I don't think I heard that before. Okay. Still having network issues, evidently. But hard drive recording is still going. Hard drive recording, which actually still has the girls' game on it from last week, because Voorhees did not offload it from the hard drive and upload it to Governor Livingston High School Television YouTube. That should be done sometime in the next week, along with this game, as that draw will go the way of Delaware Valley for a second here, but it'll eventually be scooped by Wolf Sicoli also for a second, and it'll end up back with Delaware Valley. It's number 24 with the ball, Kelton Ebach. Ebach will have the ball checked out of his stick, and it'll go out of bounds. So Governor Livingston will get the ball back with 8:46 left. Ref will blow this back into play. Unlike the girls' game, which I'm a bit used to, the ref still has to blow the ball back into play. No fluid restarts like in the girls' game. There are some aspects of both games that I like a bit better than the other, but fluid restarts has to be one of my favorites. For a game like lacrosse, especially, which is so just fluid in nature, it seems like having fluid restarts would make sense. But we've still got restarts on refs' whistles in boys lacrosse, so And I'm not sure the protest of one singular high school student will do anything. So as we pass under 8:30 here, it'll be Delaware Valley ball after GL lost possession out of bounds. This one will be carried across with the 50 by number 34, Marcus Gary. And they'll claim he stepped out of bounds, I believe. So GL will get the ball back after a series of out of bounds. This one will go up to Nappy. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, the Moravian commit. It'll go to Sicoli. Sicoli will get it to... Not sure who that was in front. That was McCray, and McCray rifling a shot across the face of the goal. But no luck hitting anything in front, so... Ah, maybe that was the issue. I didn't even have my computer plugged in. That might have been causing some problems. Either way, it'll stay GL possession here. It'll end up behind goal with McCray. Behind the goal line with McCray. McCray will eventually get this out to, I believe that's Caleb Leong. He was the first goal scorer of the game for Governor Livingston. Leong will drop this off to Novotny. Novotny also a hockey player. He's a junior, representing two different sports for Governor Livingston varsity squad. I said this last time about the same exact man, actually. You know, coaches love those dual athlete, dual sport guys, especially guys who can represent two different varsity teams. Means you know they've got work ethic and skill, I suppose. Also means they're going to be staying healthy and fit the whole year. As the shot rifled here by Andrew Nappy. That one a bouncer. No luck. That one skips right over goal. It'll stay GL, though, as we have 7:06 left in the game. Sorry, not in the game, in the second period. It'll end up with Novotny around the 35-yard line. He'll get a pass here in front to Nappy, and Nappy will have his shot deflected away. Fight here now will ensue for the ball. Ball will be picked up by McCray in a relatively quick amount of time. He'll go back to Novotny. Novotny, low shot here. That one deflected away by number 17, Luke Seifert, the goalkeeper for Delaware Valley. McCray tried to intercept the pass there back to Seifert, but no luck, it appears. That one went right over his head. So Delaware Valley will maintain possession. This one will be passed up to number 8, who will lose his stick. And he'll put his hands up. Referees will indicate Governor Livingston ball. It will restart here with Owen McGuire. McGuire will check out of the game, of course. Long stick midi, he's mainly used as a defensive player. It'll be here with Cottam. Cottam will go all the way behind goal. He'll end up at X eventually. He'll get to McCray, though, and McCray will go out to, that's Will Sicoli, along the far side. Sicoli will go to Nappy around the far side hashes 40, although he'll shuffle back to the near side hashes now. He'll get it to Caleb Leong. Leong driving. He'll go back behind goal to X to McCray, who will pass in front to Cottam, who will net GL's third goal of the game. It's 3-4. Lead is back down 2-1, and I need to answer the stupid prompt on my screen that's telling me that I don't have a connection. So, a nice pass there from McCray to Cottam, cutting the lead down to 4-3. We're back at a 1-point game with 5:52 left here in the second period. Face-off taken here by Ryan. It'll actually go GL's way. And it'll be carried all the way up by McGuire. And the play will be whistled dead for a timeout with just 5:50 left. I'm not sure who called the timeout. I believe it was... No. Actually, I am sure who called the timeout. It was Governor Livingston because they had the ball. That's kind of how it works. I'm not sure why I had a little bit of a mental miscue there. Either way, Gio will take a quick timeout, and I will too, to take a drink of water. Ladies and gentlemen, that timeout has now concluded, and we will restart play here at Fry Field on the hill at Governor Livingston High School. My name is Nathan Philbrick. Thank you for joining us here today. Governor Livingston with possession of the ball. This one will eventually end up with Cottom. Cottom will try and rifle a pass to McCray, and it'll bounce in and out of his stick and be controlled by Delaware Valley. Delaware Valley currently with a 1-point lead, scores 4-3. Just over 5 minutes left here in the second. Delaware Valley not able to get the ball out of their own defensive zone. It'll eventually be controlled in the offensive zone. Sorry, they'll eventually get it up, and whistle will be blown. I believe for an offside. Regardless of what that was, Governor Livingston will get possession of the ball, and it'll start. Well, it won't start with Michael Nelson, but it'll end up with Michael Nelson. Nelson, a pretty aggressive goalkeeper. You've seen him a few times already come out of his goal, twice to contest for balls going out of bounds, and at least once, I believe, 3 times to contest for balls that were going out of bounds, 1 time to contest just a ground ball, and another time to get a pass up, which resulted in the coaches yelling at him. But either way, it'll be Governor Livingston possession. They're on offense now, and a wild pass there will go out of bounds on the far sideline, and it'll be Delaware Valley ball. I've just now noticed there's a photographer over here that is over there on the far side. That is not Owen Clacius. There's a shot from a long pole. Jaden Rivera there. That one went way wide and way high. There's a reason that long poles don't take a lot of shots, is because with that much of a height difference between the ball and the ground, it's kind of hard to get it down and on goal. That's why if they do take shots, usually you'll see them go sidearm. But either way, Delaware Valley get the ball back here. It'll be Cole Freach. He'll go to his brother Will in front of goal, and this ball will be on the ground now, contested for, as Rivera will get tripped up. The man who just tried to take a shot will get tripped up. And Miller will get a pass to Alec Novotny, who will drive downfield. He'll get to the 20 before eventually slowing up. We'll try and go for a pass back to number 50, Bennett Gian. Gian will get it to Sicoli, who will go back to Novotny. Novotny will go back to Gian, who will be pressed. Gian will eventually get it out to Leong. Leong down to the corner to Cottom. Cottom back behind goal to McCray. McCray back to Leong around the 15. Leong trying to go to Gian here, and that pass is uncontrolled by both Gian and then Novotny, so Delaware Valley will get yet another possession. GL just having trouble controlling the ball here, it seems. Actually, kind of both teams, but it seems to have hurt GL more, especially since they're currently down 1 on the scoreboard. Whistle blown here as Delaware Valley took a timeout with 2:56 left. They got to use their timeouts. They don't carry over into the next half, so both teams will try and use their timeouts. Their 2 timeouts, I believe they have each here as the clock winds down here in the second period. They're each going to try and get some goals before half, try and get some momentum, of course. Although, for GL, usually getting momentum going into the half doesn't really mean anything, because they seem to... I'm trying to say something that is not inherently negative. Governor Livingston seems to drop off their momentum at the half, almost no matter what. They've had a lot of good games. You know, they were contesting Mendham, who, Mendham is a pretty good team. They're led by a 2-time NCAA D1 national championship out of Syracuse. So, got a good program going over there. We were supposed to broadcast a game here on GLHS TV. We were supposed to broadcast the Mendham versus Governor Livingston boys lacrosse game here on GLHS TV. I was supposed to have a full camera crew. Unfortunately, can't really bring studio cameras out in the rain, although technically you can, but probably shouldn't because they'll destroy them. So we didn't have the chance to shoot that game. I would have loved to, of course, especially considering the close competition that it was. I believe the game ended 8-2, although I can check right now because I have the thing. Sorry, it was 10-7. I don't know why I said 8-2 for a second. I meant 8-10. It was 10-8 in Mendham's favor. The way Delaware Valley, now that we're out of the timeout and I'm done talking about stuff that happened in the past, let's talk about the present. Shot here by number 8 for Delaware Valley. I don't have my roster up because I was looking somewhere else. It's Justin Colmer. Colmer restoring the lead back at 2. Largest lead of this game is actually 2. A bit surprising. It's not a high-scoring game particularly. The girls' game I commentated ended, I believe, in a 27-point total, which is... Sorry, not 27. It ended 26-point total, which is a lot of points. It is lacrosse. It's not a low-scoring game like soccer, but it's also not a game where you see football numbers put up. So, 26 points is a lot of points. Either way, this draw control will be taken by Sazonsky. Sazonsky will drive immediately, trying to go for a solo goal. That one will be deflected away. Cole Freach will try and get a shot off here. Will Freach will try and get a shot off. He'll have no luck. It'll be deflected away. It'll end up with Reinierson on the far side near the numbers. Reinierson will eventually get it back to Brian Sazonsky. Sazanski? I'll go Sazanski. Who knows? It'll eventually end up with Braden Picardo-Liask. And it'll get back to... it'll get to Costello, I believe. Currently. Costello hovering on the 40. Now gearing up to go for a drive. He'll cut right down to the 20-yard line. Going for a shot here. That one deflected away by Nelson. And he'll come out of his crease to scoop the ball up. Seeing a bit of aggressiveness there, even with an attacker in his face. He'll step out just to get the ball. Check there. That was a beautiful check by Braden Costello on number 26 for Governor Livingston. Not sure who that is. I'll have to check that's Liam Goen. Another dual sport athlete there. Hockey and lacrosse, much like Mr. Novotny. Shouldn't say Mr. Novotny. I should say Alec Novotny. It is Alec Novotny, correct? It is Alec Novotny, correct. Michael Novotny is a baseball player. They're brothers. Michael Novotny being a senior for the Governor Livingston boys baseball team, which, by the way, GL boys baseball having a similarly successful season, as this ball will go out of bounds for Governor Livingston possession will end up with Owen McGuire. I'll go back to talking about GL baseball for a second here, as McGuire will try and make something work on that far sideline. McGuire will go inside and that'll be whistled dead with just over a minute left as a timeout was called, I believe, by Governor Livingston. Yeah, I believe a timeout's called there by Governor Livingston. Either way, back to GL baseball. GL baseball currently 16-0. I'm not going to say anything about that, but they are currently ranked number 2 in the state by NJ.com and number 1 in the state by Big State Sports. Shout out to the guys at Big State Sports, by the way. Love watching their streams. I believe they got one going on right now. Actually, it's a baseball stream. It's not GL, because... At least I don't think it's GL. Well, it can't really be GL, because I don't believe GL is playing right now. Never mind, they actually got a lot of streams going right now. Counties as well. Speaking of counties and boys lacrosse, Summit versus Westfield, the number 2 versus number 10 team in the state, will be happening, I believe, at 12 today. It'll be live on NJ.com. You can go watch that on NJ.com/watch. Should be a good matchup for the Union County Tournament Finals. Speaking of Union County Tournament Finals, Governor Livingston, with their 1-10 record, got one win. It was over Dayton in the preliminary round of the Union County Tournament. That was a 14-10 win. Unfortunately, they fell to Johnson in the actual first round of the tournament, 19-12. That one was happening at the same time I was doing the girls' game here. The girls' game was also a county game. The girls also beat Dayton. Unfortunately, the game with Oak Knoll got rained out, and because of the rules by either Union County or NJSIAA, because GL was the lower-seeded team, I believe they had to forfeit the game. So Oak Knoll currently in the final for the Union County tournament. Oak Knoll also, I believe, the number 3 girls team in the state, according to NJ.com, and that game will also be on NJ.com. As here's a shot low and away there by Caleb Leong for Governor Livingston. We pass under 40 seconds here. No luck finding the bottom of the net there. Sorry, finding the back of the net there. This one will be with Novotny near side. Novotny going around behind goal. He'll try to get a pass in front to Leong, but that one will be knocked away and eventually controlled by Delaware Valley, or not. It'll go out of bounds. So with 22 seconds left, Governor Livingston trying to get one goal here to cut the lead back down to 1. As a timeout will be called by Delaware Valley, and both teams will have no timeouts left. So Delaware Valley using their last timeout. Both teams can use timeouts when the ball is out of bounds. However, only the team with possession can call a timeout when the ball is in play. Bit interesting rules there, and I've now realized my scoreboard didn't update because of the stupid prompt thing I had open when I tried to click it. It's 5-3, not 4-3. 22 seconds left. It's been not a terrible game for Governor Livingston. They're still in it. They're against an opponent with a far better record than them, 8-6. If you were to look at the records alone and see Governor Livingston versus Delaware Valley, you would likely predict a blowout for Delaware Valley. But I always love to say this, stats and records don't tell you everything. You know, there's a lot to see with stats and records, but there's a lot to see beyond the stats and records as well. Underneath the stats and records, you'll see that Governor Livingston is actually having a decent season. They're able to compete in games pretty much right up until the end, where they kind of fall off. Whether that's a stamina problem or that's just a problem keeping energy and momentum, I'm not sure. Either way, that seems to be the way it goes, as we'll restart play here as we go under 20 seconds. Scott McCrae will have the ball, 15 under now. McCrae trying to find a pass in front. He'll get it to Novotny. Novotny will go to Nappy. Nappy trying to drive. He'll get down to the 20. 5 seconds left. Nappy's got to find a pass in front and a shot. No one here, as that ball will go in front and be knocked down as the siren will wail for the end of the second period. So, going into halftime here at Fry Field on the hill at Governor Livingston High School, it is 5-3. I've also just looked to my right and remembered that there's a girls' game going on. A girls' softball game going on up closer to the school, of course. Fry Field located a bit away from the school, down a bit of a hill. And up on the hill to the right, closer to the school, is the softball field. Not sure what the score is over there because the scoreboard is facing away from us, but I know what the score is here. It's 5-2, Delaware Valley with the 2-point lead. I'm Nathan Philbrick. Thank you for joining us here on Governor Livingston High School Television. We'll be back in about 9 minutes for the start of the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Governor Livingston High School. My name is Nathan Philbrick. Thank you for joining us here today for this boys varsity lacrosse matchup between your Governor Livingston Highlanders and the Delaware Valley Terriers. Score right now is 5-3 in favor of the Terriers, as it was a pretty low-scoring first half. Terriers currently have the ball on offense. They won the draw, so we'll start with the ball. My video is frozen, I think. Is it actually frozen? Is the question. Not sure. Either way, it'll be with Delaware Valley. Currently behind goal is number 21. Jack Reinierson. I'm a bit thrown off right now. He'll get it out to Cole Freach. Cole Freach will go to Justin Colmer. Colmer looking to drive down the middle. He'll get a shot off. That one will be saved nicely by Nelson. Nelson trying to get a long output pass, and that one will dribble out of bounds. So I'm trying to fix the video here. It seems to be frozen right now. I'm not really sure if that's just a visual glitch on my end or if it's actually frozen. But either way, it was a save by Nelson. He'll get this one out as an output pass to Matt Miller. Miller takes it all the way across the 50, the long pole. He'll get down to the 20-yard line before eventually holding up and getting it out to Cottom. Cottom will try and go for a pass to, I believe that's Ryviker. Yes, that was Max Ryvicker. Try and go for a pass to him, but no luck there. I've switched the video inputs. It might just be that the GoPro is frozen. Either way, Delaware Valley on the offensive right now, as Michael Nelson will go and claim this ball as it goes out of bounds after it's knocked out of the stick of the Delaware Valley attacker. Oh, Lord. Is my video actually frozen? If I unplug this. It's not a problem with the GoPro. I know that. Correction, I don't know that. I can see that, though. Either way, it'll be with Andrew Nappy. I'll just have to commentate this, no video. Andrew Nappy, he'll go back to Bennett Gian near the middle of the field. Gian will get this one out to Novotny far side. Novotny will go far corner to Ryan Cottom. Cottom will go behind goal to Scott McCray. McCray trying to put a move on here. He'll put a spin quickly. He'll try and go around in front of goal. He'll get a shot there. It'll go off the side of the netting. And it'll be picked up easily by number 17, Luke Seifert, the goalie for this Delaware Valley team. McCray getting pressure onto the goalie and forcing a bad pass that goes out of bounds with 9:10 left here in the third. It's 5-3 currently, Delaware Valley. I'm hoping that it's just a visual glitch because when I unplug the computer, or when I unplug the video as well, it continues and it doesn't tell me that the video is stopped, which makes me think that it might just be a visual glitch on my end with Wirecast, which would mean I should reopen. I should logically close and reopen Wirecast.
Not sure about that.
Apparently the referee will say it went off McCray as the ball went out of bounds, so it'll be Delaware Valley ball. Not sure what that is there, but either way, Delaware Valley will start in the offensive half. It'll end up now with Kyle Shamming. Shamming will drop it back to number 16, Braden Costello, who will hover around the middle of the field at the 40-yard line. Costello now driving. He gets past the 20. He looks for a shot in front to Cole Freach. That one will be knocked away and not taken, but it'll eventually end up with Reinierson. Reinierson will get it out to Will Freach. Will try and get it to number 16, Costello, and Costello will lose possession of the ball, causing a scrum here on near the 20-yard line. It'll eventually be picked up by number 8, Justin Colmer. Colmer now dropping off back to the 30. Colmer driving far side near the hashes. He gets up to the 20 before pulling out. Tries to go for another drive there, but decides not to. Will instead get a pass to Shamming. Shamming along the far side, behind the numbers. He'll get it to... It'll end up with Costello in the middle of the field. Costello will get this down to Will Freach. Will Freach trying to put some spin moves on there. Getting a shot there, but that one's sidearmed and it'll fly wide away. It'll stay, however, Delaware Valley ball. It'll restart with Reinierson. I'm pretty sure he's their X-Man. The mirror to Scott McCray. Reinierson trying to get a shot there. That one deflected away by Michael Nelson, luckily. Scrum ensuing right in front of the crease, and a quick shot attempt there by Will Freach will go wide. He didn't have time to set up properly. And with 7:44 left, GL will get the ball back. It's currently 3-5. GL's got to find 2 goals to make up the deficit. It'll be carried across midfield by, I believe, that's number 16, Bennett Gian. Nope, sorry, not Bennett Gian, Caleb Leong. And not the, I had just had the wrong name. We'll try and go behind goal to number 35, Will Sicoli, and that'll be a check in the back on Will Sicoli. We'll restart with McCray, the true X-Man for this GL team. He tries to get a pass in front to Nappy. It'll end up with actually Bennett Gian, who will rifle a shot wide left. It'll end up back with Bennett Gian now, hovering around the near side. He'll get this one across the field to number 16, Caleb Leong. Leong back to Gian, who will now be around the 35-yard line, shuffling towards the other side of the field. He'll go back to Leong, who's on the far side numbers. Leong will go behind goal to McCray. He'll try and make a move around at X. He'll be stick-checked repeatedly by Jack Oldenburg. He'll get a shot to Novotny, but Novotny's shot will be deflected high and away by the defender. I believe that was number 13, Terry Nee, getting in front of the shot. Still battling for the ball. It'll eventually be picked up here by number 24. That's Kelton Ebach. Ebach will rifle a shot across the... rifle a pass across the field high to Marcus Gary. Gary will eventually get it down to, I believe that is Terry Nee again. It is Terry Nee. So defender carrying it across the midfield. He'll eventually drop it off to, I believe, is Jack Reinierson. Reinierson will rifle a pass to Comer, who will put it back in the hands of Braden Costello. Costello will hover around the 35-yard line. He'll finally drive down the middle of the field. He's met by Andrew Nappy, odd defender here. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I believe Matt Nappy might be a short stick defensive midi as well as an attacker. So it'll end up back with Costello. Costello looks for a shot there, doesn't take it. He goes to Reinierson. Reinierson near side, driving into the middle. He'll go for a shot here, deflected away by Nelson. Back into play here with just under 6 minutes left. Pass in front attempt to Jack Reinierson will be no good. It'll end up with number 12, Braden Picardo-Liask. Shot rifled there by Justin Comer after the pass from Picardo-Liask. Will net the 6th goal of the game for the Terriers. It is 6-3, a 3-point lead for Delaware Valley. Largest lead of the game for either team. GL has not had a lead this game, actually, as a matter of fact. They tied it up 2-2 in the first quarter, but were not able to get anything going. So I believe that was Costello, right? I want to say that was Costello. So Costello with his 2nd goal of the game, although could actually be his 3rd. I'm not sure who scored that 4th goal of the game for the Terriers, as this face-off will be controlled by GL initially, but it'll go Governor Livingston's way. And a shot there from number 9, Brandon Szanski, the Fogo. As there's a huge check on Bennett Gian that'll draw flags from both refs. Gian took his helmet off after that check. He might be a bit disoriented. And I believe the ref threw a 2nd flag. The near side ref threw 2 different flags, because there were 3 flags on the field, and I believe that was actually an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the back half of that, which drew the 2nd flag. So it'll be a man up for 1 minute. So GL will get a 1-minute man up. Potentially a chance to net a goal. I believe this is a releasable penalty. Unsportsmanlike is releasable.
I don't know about releasable, but there was 2 penalties. It was one for the check and then one for unsportsmanlike, so we're man up for 2 minutes.
Correction, man up for 2 minutes. It was a penalty for the check and then an unsportsmanlike, not just the unsportsmanlike call. That's why there were 2 flags on the field. That makes more sense. I suppose whatever the offending player did to get the unsportsmanlike penalty, the ref seemed to take offense to whatever it is he did after the check, so that drew an unsportsmanlike. Either way, GL will have the ball now for 2 minutes, so we'll go down to 3 minutes and 16 seconds. As a shot rifled there by Bennett Gian, that one will be deflected by number 9, Brandon Szanski, so I believe he was the one who had the check, and I'm not sure if he was also the one with the unsportsmanlike. As a shot here from Nappy, that one also deflected by Szanski. Szanski just getting in front of everything here, as we near 1 minute gone in the man up, as we'll get down to 4:16. Szanski's stick was knocked away from him by, I'm not sure who that was. It might have been Ryan Cottam. It was. Either way, GL will now get the ball back. 1 minute gone in the man up. It'll be with McCray. McCray not at X as typical. Not sure what's going on here. I believe they might have a different man up thing, as that pass to Cottam will deflect off his stick and go out of bounds for a Delaware Valley possession. So a minute of the man up gone, and now Delaware Valley will get the ball back with 45 seconds left of the man up. As that pass attempt there from Luke Seifert will go out of his stick, and should be a quick shot here, and GL will net their goal with 3:50. That was a chaotic series of events, but just to recap it, Luke Seifert trying to go for a pass. He doesn't get one off, or he does get one off, I suppose. Unfortunately, it goes directly into the turf at his feet. 2 GL attackers, I believe it was Scott McCray and Ryan Cottam, were standing there. As Seifert goes to pick up the ball, Cottam checks it away. He eventually scoops it up. The defenders get back, but Cottam finally realizes that the goalie is, not in his typical position and probably not ready to take a shot, and just puts one low and right. So GL cutting the lead back down to 2 with a goal from Cottam. It's 6-4, and that was a releasable penalty. So GL has used their man up to score that goal. Unfortunate that they couldn't get, although I'm not sure what the rules are on that. If they scored during the first minute, I'm not sure if that would have released him. It might have, because I believe it was just stacking penalties and not penalties on 2 different players. So, either way, fight here for possession of the ball, and it'll go GL's way. So, Nappy will get a quick pass down here to McRae. McRae looked like he was going for a shot, but he'll pull out and go for a pass instead. Now we'll get a pass to Bennett Gian. Gian will go back to McRae on the 20-yard line near side. We'll go to Novotny, 30-yard line. Try and go back to McRae, but that ball will go out and in and out of his stick. He'll eventually scoop it back up anyways after the short scrum between Gian and the defender for the Terriers. That goal! Scott McRae. I was so not ready for him to take a shot there. He stood there, stared at the goal for about 4 seconds, and then just decided to put one right over the head of Luke Seifert. He'll cut the lead back down to 1. I believe that's his first goal of the game, too. So, although McRae, I believe, is the leading goal scorer. I'll have to check my stats on that. I believe he's currently the leading goal scorer for Governor Livingston, but he'll net his first goal of this game in a, interesting fashion. Scott McRae, 29 goals in the season. He's also the points leader with 46. Novotny, interestingly enough, is number 2 in points on this team with 40. That's coming on 6 goals and 34 assists. A lot of assists there for Novotny. But either way, the Terriers have the ball. They're on offense now. It's currently with Reinierson. Reinierson will go to Costello, who's around the 45, really far out. Costello will go to Colmer, who will take his spot in between the 40 and the 45. Costello will now go to not a new face, Braden Picardo-Liask. Picardo-Liask will drive. He'll get back to the 20. Picardo looking for a shot, but he won't get one. He'll pull out and go to Will Freach at X. Freach will find Costello, who will go to Colmer, who's around the far side near the 30, the actual number. Colmer now driving in front. Will go for a shot there, and Nelson out of position. Colmer will net the 7th goal a game for the Terriers, and he'll increase the lead back to 2 at 7-5. I got to fix my headset too, so give me a second. I'll get back before the face-off. If this video really is frozen, that will be truly unfortunate, because it means you will not get to see that absolute rifle of a shot. Either way, face-off here will be taken by number 9 for the Terriers. That's Brandon Sazanski, the Fogo. Sazanski will have the ball. He'll go for a short little pass here to Cole Freach. Cole Freach making a move here. Looks like he was going for a shot. He'll draw a flag either way, so they'll have a man up if they don't score here, which they do. 5-8 Terriers. Not even sure who that was. I believe that was number 4, Will Freach. So 3 goals for the Freaches here on the day. And a second flag will be drawn, likely for an unsportsmanlike against Governor Livingston.
Whoa. 2 minutes unreleasable.
2 minutes, 2 minutes non-releasable penalty against Owen McGuire, number 11, the long stick midi. I don't know what you can say short of actually, wishing death upon the Rest family to get a 2-minute unreleasable unsportsmanlike conduct. I'm not even sure that would get you a red card in soccer. And soccer refs will give you a card for saying pretty much anything. That Lord only knows what Owen McGuire just said to the referee. Or I suppose not said, but did. He did or said something. I'm going to guess he said something because I didn't see anything extreme. The goal is still good. And
it's their ball.
the goal is still good, and that didn't wipe the penalty off of the board. They still get the 2-minute unreleasable. So, scratch that about them having the penalty wiped off if they got the goal. They'll get a chance to get another goal. It's 2 minutes unreleasable. Not only another goal, they'll get a chance to get multiple goals as we're under 2 minutes left here. This one will carry over into the fourth as well. They'll have about 4 seconds of man up in the fourth, although that won't really mean much to them because they probably won't even get a chance to get a shot off. Either way, Terriers playing hot potato with the ball here as we get close down to 1:30 left in the third. It'll eventually end up with Reinierson. Reinierson in front to Costello, who will net the 9th goal of the game for the Terriers. And my scoreboard hasn't been updating, I just realized. Because of the stupid prompt that I have open. That's why it keeps dinging at me. You know, for a tech guy, I don't know how to work this thing. Or, not that I don't know how to work it, I'm just pretty bad at it. Either way, that was a beautiful shot from Costello. I'm not even going to try to downplay that. And they'll still have a man up. So they can get as many as they want here on the man up. This is their first man up of the game. GL had a man up for 2 minutes as well. But that one was releasable. They netted a goal with about 40 seconds left in the man up. And so that one went away. But unreleasable means they'll stay a man up. GL will have 8 players on the field. 8 players plus goalie, so 9 technically. As ref will blow the whistle for a timeout from White from the Terriers. Nick Radano was putting heavy pressure on the Terrier ball carrier. Not sure who it was. I didn't get a chance to check the number. He was kind of driving and being stick checked the whole time. But 1:16 left in the third quarter. The Terriers up 9-5. And I didn't update my scoreboard for GL either. The score is 9-5. Yeah, I think the video is just frozen because the scoreboard is still updating. So this is gonna be really bad to upload. I'm not sure. I'll try and close and open everything real quick, see if that fixes anything. So the recording will stop for a second. I'll try and get back. Alright, that seemed to fix the camera problem. I'm not sure if that was just a issue with the camera not appearing to update or if the camera actually wasn't updating, but either way, I'll have to fix the scoreboard for a second here. Attempted shot there. Might have been an attempted shot, might have been a pass. I'm not exactly sure which. Either way, it'll be taken by Nelson, and Matt Miller will now carry it across midfield. I'll update my scoreboard in a minute. Matt Miller has his stick checked, and he won't be able to pick it back up. He'll go for an aggressive check there on number 31, Cole Freach, but Freach will put a spin move on him and send him into the turf. That's got to be hurtful for Miller's ego, and Miller will now get a very bad check on the back of Cole Freach. That one will draw flags. Pretty sure that one will be unreleasable too, as Michael Nelson comes out of his goal trying to meet number 1 Adam Weissel for the Terriers, but Weissel will put one past him and net the double digits goal for the Terriers. And now another flag comes out, probably for unsportsmanlike conduct too. Claps coming from down below me, not sure for what. A lot of flags here. We have 30 seconds left in the first period. The question is, does the goal count? We've seen penalties after the goals erase goals before. It happened in the last game I commentated. There was a goal by Governor Livingston. It was erased by an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after the goal. And I believe that'll be the same case here. It doesn't look like we're going for a face-off, although that could just be because of the penalty. We'll see if the refs say anything about scoreboard. They don't seem to be saying anything, so while I actually have to make my scoreboard what it should be at 5-10, and allow me to So 5-on-5 odd situation here. 5-on-5 in the attacking half, as there was unsportsmanlike against. So unsportsmanlike against Delaware Valley. That's a 1 minute unreleasable, according to the refs. Also a penalty against GL. That'll be carried out by McGuire probably still, because he was still in the box. Of course, the penalty isn't against him, but I believe that's who GL will choose to sit in the box for the penalty. Odd rules in lacrosse. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Most of the lacrosse I watch is box lacrosse in the NLL. As Governor Livingston will try and go for a shot here. That was Andrew Nappy getting in front, but he was checked right as the ball came out of his stick, so that one just dribbled in front of Luke Seifert. Now Luke Seifert will try and rifle one down the field. That one will go far and straight out of bounds. As I was saying, most of the lacrosse I watch is the National Lacrosse League, which, by the way, playoff game tonight for the National Lacrosse League. I believe the Saskatchewan and I'm not sure who will be facing off. That'll be on at like 8 p.m. on, I think, TSN and ESPN Plus, but I'm sure I'll watch that while I'm relaxing later tonight. Either way, Gio will have the ball, and that ball will be immediately knocked away from Matt Miller. It was Matt Miller who had the penalty a few minutes ago for the check in the back on number 31, Cole Freach. Matt Miller, of course, was not chosen to sit the penalty out, as he'll try and rifle a pass way downfield here that would go straight out of bounds in an attempt to get a goal, or he was trying to get a long shot or pass, not sure which, as we had about 5 seconds left, but no good. So we'll go into the fourth period with a score of 10-5 in favor of the Terriers. My name's Nathan Philbrick. I'll be back in just a minute after I get a drink and complain about stuff not working. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Governor Livingston High School here. We're out at Fry Field for this Governor Livingston boys varsity lacrosse matchup between your Governor Livingston Highlanders, as a very loud truck passes by. I'm sure you can hear that. Between your Governor Livingston Highlanders and the Delaware Valley Terriers. Ref is currently saying something. I believe he's explaining how the penalty releases will work. McGuire has about 4 seconds left on his penalty, and that will expire now. Delaware Valley still has a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. That one should last, I think, for another 20 seconds or so. So GL will be a man up for about 15 more seconds now, as that pass rifled down the field from Luke Seifert will be taken by DiDonato. DiDonato will get that to number 26. What in the world? Number 26, Liam Goen. There will be a shot there by Bennett Gion, but that one not controlled. Ryan Cotton will try and scoop the ball up. He eventually will. He'll get this one It'll end up with McCray, who will take a shot, and that will be deflected as the man for Delaware Valley will finally be released. So we're back to even play. We had a weird 5-on-5 situation there towards the end of the third. But we're back to 6-on-6 in the offensive half. Full 10 men on each team on the field. As Delaware Valley will now get their first offensive possession of the fourth quarter. It'll end up behind goal with Will Freach, the older of the Freach brothers, a senior. I want to pull up his stats, but won't do that yet. Freach being checked by DiDonato. I don't even think he's wearing an elbow guard on one of his arms. I think he's got them on both. Never mind. He's a bit far away from me. He was on the far side, of course. The ball now with number 16, Braden Costello, near side by the hashes. He's 40 yards out from the goal line. I suppose he's only 30 yards out from the lacrosse goal. He'll get one back there to Braden Picardo-Liask. Picardo-Liask will go to number 8, Colmer. Colmer will take a shot. That will be deflected up by Nelson and controlled by Nelson. Nelson now coming out of his goal. He'll get a short pass off to Matt Miller, number 33, near side. Matt Miller trying to take it across midfield. He will. He'll keep driving. Looked like he was going to pull up and stop there for a second, but he won't. He'll eventually get a pass off to Ryan Cottam. Excuse me for that burp. I had to move the mic away from my face so it didn't sound horrible. Bennett Gian now with the ball. He'll go back to Novotny, the leading assist scorer on this team. He's got 40 points perfect in his season so far, 34 of them being assists. We'll see if... I think he's already netted another assist. Not netted. I believe he's already had another assist here. He'll go for a goal. That would have been his 7th, but unfortunately that one just a shot across the bow and not quite on goal. Luke Seifert did seem to be in a bit of a panic there. Jumped right back into his own post. GL will maintain possession. He'll restart with Scott McCray on the far side. He'll go to Gian far side. Nappy now in the middle. Nappy will go to Cottam. Cottam will look back to Nappy. Nappy will go far side to Gian again. He's far side hashes. Gian, a little swim move there. Now spin. He'll go back to Nappy. Nappy looked like he was about to go for a shot there, but Cottam will finally take a shot. That one will be deflected wide and away by Luke Seifert. 9:13 left. It'll restart with Scott McCray. Stay Governor Livingston possession. I'm going at 1,000,000 miles a minute right now. It'll end up... Sorry, that wasn't Gian. That was Novotny. Novotny had his pass knocked down, but he'll eventually pick it back up. Now he'll go to Gian around the 40-yard line. Sorry, that is Leong, yeah. Caleb Leong. I keep saying Gian. And shot there by Scott McCray. I want another shot across the bow of the goal for Luke Seifert, but won't be on goal. He won't have the need to deflect it away. Girls softball game seems to be wrapping up on the hill. As of right now, I'm not sure what the score is. I'll have to go check. It'll be with Novotny either way to focus on the game I'm actually commentating instead of not. It'll be with Nappy. Nappy driving. He'll try and get a pass in front to Cottam. That one will go past Cottam, and it'll be thrown high into the air and eventually controlled by number 5, Brian Sazanski. Sazanski now going for a shot here on Nelson. That one right into the pocket of Nelson's goalie stick. I was trying to think. I suppose it's not the netting of his stick. It could be the netting of his stick. Either way, it'll end up with Cottam. Cottam tripping there for a second. Cottam kind of has a thing for tripping. I seem to remember him tripping once or twice in one of the other games. Not quite sure what it is with him and tripping while he has the ball. Either way, it'll end up with Novotny far side on the 20. Novotny will go back in front to Scott McCray, and that ball will be rifled off the side of the net, and it'll go out of bounds for Delaware Valley possession. I believe it was last touched by GL, which is why it goes Delaware Valley's way. Either way, Delaware Valley still trying to get their offense on the field. They've only got 5 attackmen on the field right now. There's a shot there from 21, Ryan Nierson, sorry. Ref blew his whistle. Wasn't sure what that was for, but it was for the ball going out of bounds after the shot. Thought it might have been for a penalty because Ryan Nierson fell to the ground, but it wasn't. It'll start with Will Freach again. Freach going around goal, and he'll net a goal. Going right over the head of Nelson. Solo effort there from Will Freach. I haven't been writing down which Freach brother it is that has each goal, which is quite dumb of me, but I think Will is on a hat trick right now. Or if the goals... One of them has a hat trick, I believe, and if one of them doesn't have a hat trick, they're both split evenly and on hat trick watch. I'll have to look at the stats afterwards to see... Afterwards? Speech impediment did there for a second. I'll have to look at the stats afterwards to... I did it again. Oh my god. I will have to look at the stats afterwards to see if either of them really did get a hat trick. As we have just 7:30 left here in this fourth quarter. It is an 11-5 6-point lead. It is 11-5 with a 6-point lead for the Delaware Valley Terriers. It was a close game going into half, but similarly to most games, GL has kind of fallen off towards the second half here. But that pass from Delaware Valley went high and out of bounds, so GL will get one back with under 7:30 left here. I didn't update the 11 points. Apologies for that. The scoreboard is now correct. It wasn't correct a second ago. Either way, it'll be carried upfield by, I believe that's Matt Miller. It is. It is Matt Miller with the ball. Miller will try and go to number 22, Nick Rodano, but Rodano will have the ball knocked out of his stick, and it'll be Delaware Valley possession again. Will Freach now driving for a goal. Will Freach having a shot there. That one blocked low by Nelson. Huge check there, and it'll draw a flag, although this one won't be against GL. It'll be against Delaware Valley. I think that was number 5 with a illegal check on, I want to say 54. What? Andrew Werner. Sorry, not a number I'm used to seeing out on the field here. Evidently, some atypical players coming out on the field for Governor Livingston, especially considering the 6-point deficit currently. It would be possible to overcome, but it would mean GL scoring a goal every 6. Sorry, it would mean GL scoring 1 goal per minute for the next 6 minutes, and then getting a goal. And it also would mean, them stopping every single attempt by the Terriers, which would be highly unlikely. Either way, GL now with an offensive possession. It'll end up with Nappy. Nappy looked like he was going for a shot there, but he'll actually go to Cottam. Cottam will go back to Nappy. Nappy loves faking those shots. He just keeps doing it. He shuffle steps, and then he passes it out. We'll get it to Novotny, and Novotny will not be able to net a goal. That one deflected away by Luke Seifert, with, as we near 6 minutes left in the fourth. It'll be with Cottam currently. Cottam will go to Nappy. Nappy will actually have a shot here, but that one will be low left and away. 6:06 left here in the fourth. GL wants to overcome this. They've got to score 1 goal per minute for the next 6 minutes and stop the Terriers from scoring. A 6-point lead in football would not be hard to overcome. A 6-point lead on the cross, much more difficult. As there's another shot by not Michael Novotny. Another shot by Alec Novotny. Seems to be pretty liberal with the shots today. Not going for as many passes as would indicate by his stat sheet that he does. But he'll restart us here. He'll go to McCray. McCray will get it to Nappy in the middle of the field. Nappy will go to Cottam along the right side. His shot will be deflected away by number 33, Jack Oldenburg, for the Terriers. A literal scrum as 2 players from each team, or a player from each team, ended up on the ground, and GL will eventually get it back. Caleb Leong now looked like he was going for a shot, but he'll go for a pass in front. And there's a shot from number 21. I was Sear Ryan. Not typically someone you see out for offensive possession. Usually, he goes back to the sideline after his face-off duties are done. But like I said, atypical players coming out here for Governor Livingston, and so Ryan will net a goal. I would like to see which goal of his that is on the season. I believe that's his 2nd goal on the season, if I'm correct. Sorry, that's his 1st goal on the season. So, Sear Ryan III netting his 1st goal of the season. Congratulations to him there. Also, I'm pretty sure Will Freach is on a hat trick right now, so congratulations to him for getting that hat trick. Ryan, I don't have his stats. So, yeah, that was Sear Ryan's 1st career goal, I think. Unless I'm really incorrect, but it appears to have been his 1st career goal, as that ball bobbled by Joshua Kim, but luckily he'll regain control of it and get it to Cottam. Cottam will go to Novotny. They're near sideline. Novotny taking his time. He might look for a shot here as we near 5 minutes and pass it. Number 21 on the field. That's Ryan. I almost called him Tripp for a second. Ryan, he'll go behind goal to Ryan Cottam. And that one will hit the side of the netting. No goal. Thought it was a goal there. Saw the net ripple, but evidently just hitting the side. Cottam got checked after the shot as well. No flag drawn for that, but either way. Terriers going for a shot here from number 4. That's Will Freach. If he didn't already have a hat trick, he's got one now. That is the 5th goal of the game for the Freach brothers. I believe, if I'm correct, that is Will's 4th goal. So he's already surpassed a hat trick, unless, as I've said multiple times, I'm wrong, which I'm wrong very often. I'm not omnipotent. I don't know a lot of things. And hold on. There we go. I'm having trouble with the scroll bar on the scoreboard, which is unusual. With as many things as there are here for me to take a problem with, the scoreboard is not one I should. But either way, it is. Face off here. It'll go Delaware Valley's way. Easily scooped up there by Brian Sazanski, who's not the normal Fogo, because they had number 9. Sorry, they had Braden Sazanski. Brian Sazanski is also on the field, so I suppose that is a real pair of brothers. I thought it was just I thought Braden just had the nickname Brian for some reason, but nope. An actual pair of twin brother seniors, as a flag will fly for a check on Justin Plomenko of Governor Livingston. Or I believe that's Justin Plomenko. I believe the foul was on him. See what the ref has to say. All right, man-up opportunity here for Governor Livingston. It was against Justin Plomenko. It was on number 5, Brian Sazanski. So right as I was talking about him, he manages to get a very illegal check off and get himself in the box for 5 minutes. I believe that was unreleasable as well. So, unsportsmanlike. I will have to fix my hair for a second. Hopefully I'll get this before the possession starts. Right in time. The restart with Nappy. Nappy will go out to his left, to the far side to McCray. McCray will have his pass batted down by number 24. That is Kelton Ebach. And it'll go out of bounds off White. So it'll stay GL possession on the man-up. They've got a 2-minute man-up, so they've got... This one should go until about 2:20, I believe, left in the game. White. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. What I heard from the ref was it's not over at back. It went off a White stick, White ball. Those last two things definitely contradict each other. I'm just going to presume he misspoke and meant to say it did not go off of a White stick, although it went out of... If it did go out of bounds, or I guess he means it didn't go out of bounds. It didn't go off a White stick, as in it didn't go out of bounds. Either way, the Terriers will have the ball here, and they'll double the man, as Novotny will have an opportunity right in front, and Novotny will net his 7th goal of the game. Novotny doing quite a few head nods as he cut the lead down back to 5. 6-point lead there was the largest lead of the game for either team. We're only halfway through the penalty, and is of course unreleasable, so number 5, Brian Sazanski, will stay in the box for the Terriers. I should write down Novotny on my thing. Novotny. 12-7. In case you're wondering what I'm doing, I write down all the scores on a little notepad beside me. I usually do write down other notes, but in such a fluid game like lacrosse, I'm not really at liberty to just pick up a pencil and start writing at any time. Either way, face-off goes the way of the Terriers. Of course, they're not particularly inclined to score anymore. They're already up 5. They're kind of just trying to maintain the lead and run out the clock as we near 3 minutes left in the 4th. GL is going to need to put some more pressure on. I talked about this in the last game. I commentated for them. They were down. They need to put pressure. They seem to have figured that out as they're now doubling number 8 Justin Comer, but that won't work. And it'll end up with Will Freach in front. Despite the doubling, it won't net GL the ball. A pass there will go far away, and it'll go back into the Terriers' defensive zone. It'll end up with Novotny. Novotny will go for a pass to McCray. McCray now halting up near the 30. GL refs yelling that they need to... Sorry, not GL refs. GL coaches yelling that they need to actually do something with the ball. They can't just hold it, and they're correct. As they near the end of the man-up penalty, it should last for another 10, 15 seconds, I believe. I'm not sure if the Terrier coaches or the Delaware Valley coaches know that. Evidently they do, so they'll send a man back in as we just passed 2:15. So it'll be even in the offensive zone right now. GL seemingly not really a hope of a comeback. It's a 5-point lead for the Terriers with now 2 minutes left in the game. Either way, it'll be with number 21, Ryan. Ryan had his first goal of his career just a few minutes ago. It'll end up with Leong. Leong will have a bounce shot there. That one easily saved by Seifert. Seifert will go for a long outlet pass down the field, trying to get it to number 32, Evan Strochak. Strochak will not be able to handle it for a few seconds, but he'll eventually get it. Strochak will go to Cole Freach, a man a number down from him. Freach will rifle a shot. Sorry. Freach gets a pass across. It eventually ends up with Will Freach, his brother. I was having a bit of trouble with the names there, and Will Freach will net a goal over Novotny. As Novotny came out of his goal trying to press, there was nobody in between him and Will. So, might be Will Freach's 5th goal of the game. It's at least his 3rd. I know he has a hat trick now. Whether or not his brother has the other... Sorry. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... There's 6 goals for the Freaches. I know Will has at least 4 of them. He might only have... I know Will has at least 4 of them. Whether his brother has the other 2 or whether he has one of the other 2 as well, I'm not sure. Either way, 4 goals for Will Freach. He's probably going to be the goal leader for this Delaware Valley team. So a deadly brotherly duo here. Someone who hasn't made as big of an impact as I thought they would was Reinierson. Reinierson, who I actually haven't mentioned up until this point, he's just a freshman, but he is the goal leader for this team. He hasn't made as big as an impact as I thought. I believe he's only got 1 goal on the day. So, less than 1 minute now. Terriers will try and just run the clock out here. Justin Comer holding around the 35. Some parents from the stands yelling for the GL to press, but with 36 seconds left, 35, 34, there's not really much of a hope. Although, that pass will go out of bounds. It'll be off GL, though. It was deflected out by a Governor Livingston defender. That might have been number 54, Andrew Werner. So it'll stay Terrier possession. We're past 30 seconds left here in the game. Number 8, Justin Comer, trying to just, waste this one out. As Andrew Werner will actually get a check on him and knock the ball away. So maybe a goal with 10 seconds left here. Scott McCray trying to make something work. Go down to Novotny. 5 seconds left here now. Novotny not really looking like he's going for anything. Under 3 seconds. Her rifle a pass across the field. And that one will end up in the stick of Sear Ryan III. But no time to get a shot off. GL will fall to the Delaware Valley Terriers with a score of 13-7. My name is Nathan Philbeck. Thank you for joining me here today. We had a pretty good game, pretty close in the first half, separated a bit at the end. Amazing performance by the Freach brothers with Will Freach netting at least 4 goals. Not sure if it was actually all 6 or just 4 of them that I knew. But either way, thank you for joining us today on Governor Livingston High School Television. My name is Nathan Philbeck. Thank you, as always, to Joe Voorhees for lending me his equipment and allowing me to do this. Have a great day, everyone.